Hi, Maddie and Eli, Daddy here. Today's vlog, it's Friday, it's a nice bright day. I've just been to the shops, and today's crazy stories all concern animals of some kind, both real and mythological. So the most bonkers story was when I was at Royal College of Music, and actually it was in Kilburn, on a place called Charteris Road, not that far from you. And we'd had a house party. Back in the late 90s, house parties were a big thing, and in the early 2000s. Now they've become kind of obsolete. No one seems to do house parties anymore. Or maybe it's just that we've got older and aren't invited anymore. But anyway, we'd had this fabulous house party, and maybe a little too much alcohol was imbibed. But anyway, the next morning, and we all kind of crash out. I think I slept in a bath that night with my legs over the end. Anyway, we woke up the next morning, and I kind of wander into the kitchen, which is at the back of the building, and to get a glass of water, and I look out into the garden, and there's a penguin. No, I'm not joking. There was an actual penguin. So I casually wander back into my friend's living room, where there was about 4 or 5 people all sleeping or slowly coming to. And I said, guys, there's a penguin in your garden. And obviously they looked at me like I was completely insane, or hallucinating, or having a mental breakdown, or some other severance with reality. But no, there was a penguin in the garden. Over the next hour or so, we called the RSPCA, and they came and picked this poor little dear up. But anyway, it turned out that, and it was in the newspaper and everything, and we read about it and had a laugh about it afterwards. It turned out that some idiots had been on a stag do weekend or something, and had broken into some animal farm somewhere and stolen a penguin the previous week, and had found themselves, obviously, unable to care for the poor thing. And had ditched it in a garden. And we were the ones who happened to have woken up to that penguin in our garden. So that's one bonkers story for you. So the next bonkers story, well no, the next lovely story actually, it's rather beautiful, concerns your tortoises. I first got a tortoise, and always get them from a proper reptile breeder, not from your average pet shop. I got my first tortoise, whom I named Emily, after Emily Bronte, although her full name is Emily Hoffman, when I was diagnosed with cancer, because I didn't have children then, and I wanted a pet that would outlive me. I'm not sure why. It was a kind of romantic idea, but I thought it was kind of sweet. So I got a tortoise who would definitely outlive me, because Emily can live to about 75. Darth can live to about, well, the longest recorded species that Darth is, a Spurthii, Emily is a Hermann's tortoise, was I think 170 something, but that's unusual. But she could make it to 100 fairly easily. And then about 2 or 3 years later, I got my final tortoise, Georgia Horowitz, who is a rare African leopard tortoise who can live a very long time. She could make it to about 200. I think now Emily is actually a boy, and so is Georgia. However, it's almost impossible to sex tortoises when they're still fairly young, and they're only about 11 now. So here is a quick tour of the tortoise house. This is Darth, so named by Maddie. I thought it was fair enough to let Maddie name one of the tortoises, at least. Here comes Emily, who is my first tortoise. There's Emily coming out. Say hi, Emily. And this is little Georgia in the middle. You can see why she's called leopard tortoise, because she has kind of leopard stripes. And they have lots and lots of nice lettuce in here, and some pak choy. And this is their heat lamp, which is extremely hot. I wouldn't touch that. And they have UV rays to keep their vitamin D up, which makes their shells nice and strong. Lovely and strong. Hello, Emily. So there are your tortoises. And I will finish with the mythological creatures. So when you were a baby, I started collecting dinosaurs for you, because I thought you might like dinosaurs. Well, I got all the dinosaurs. Absolutely all of them. However, I ran out of dinosaurs after a while, and so I branched out into dragons. As you can see, some here. And they're the mythological ones. So although a lot of the dragons which festoon my kitchen, they look over my cooking every day, there are also a lot of mythological ones. And I'll take you on a quick tour. They go all the way around the kitchen. And so on and so on. So they are your dragons and your dinos. And sometimes if I have guests staying, I don't tell them that the dinos and dragons are there, and I just wait for them to get up in the middle of the night and put the kitchen light on for a glass of water, and that amuses me. So Daddy loves you always. Have a great day, and speak to you tomorrow. Bye bye.